time to check in on the latest buzz in the entertainment world.
Liz and Mike from 105.1 The Buzz joining us live right now. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so that 30 Seconds to Mars song was a little clue because one of the band members is one of the most talked about highlights from last night's Met Gala.
Yeah, so last night was the Met Gala, which normally I don't get too into, but last night's I sure did because the theme was Karl Lagerfeld. And I'm not sure how familiar everybody is with him, but he's best known for revitalizing the brand Coco Chanel. He was with them for 3 decades, and he was with Fendi. So a lot of what you saw that was walking the carpet, I can't say red carpet because it was white, were different items and clothing that looked very Chanel inspired. This man also had an Instagram for his cat, and people decided to pay tribute to his cat. And Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars had to have spent, I don't even know how much money recreating this cat.
Oh my gosh.
Borderline terrifying. I have never seen anything so realistic and creepy at the same time. But one of my favorite things about Jared Leto as he's walking this carpet is he wants to make sure that you know that it is in fact Jared Leto, because anytime he was like stopped for more than 5 seconds, he would just pop the head of the cat off and be like, surprise, it's me, Jared Leto. But then he'd do the same thing 3 minutes later. It was like the same thing over and over again. You had Doja Cat, who also came out dressed as his cat. You know, there was a lot of really great looks that were happening.
Yeah, so Doja Cat did prosthetics, so she opted for a little more realistic kind of face there than full furry.
And you feel like she has to think, you know, because she's Doja Cat, like it just works.
Right, it does.
But the fact that nobody showed up in a statement piece about Karl Lagerfeld blows my mind, because this is one of the most polarizing people in fashion in general.
Right.
I'm not sure how familiar you are with him, but he did pass in 2019, is not a fan of the plus size people. And just to show you how appalling the theme was they picked last night, I have some of my favorite quotes from him. Are you ready?
Oh, please.
So
yes.
ready.
I was going to say, I hope we do mention that Karl Lagerfeld is quite the controversial figure in fashion.
As a fat person, I'm ready for this one. For GQ Germany, he said, quote, Heidi Klum is no runway model. She's simply too heavy and has too big a bust, and she always grins stupidly. Then after Prince William and Kate Middleton got married, and there was all that stuff about Pippa and how beautiful Pippa was, his quote to the Telegraph was, I don't like the sister's face. She should only show her back. And one of the most polarizing ones is when asked by Harper's Bazaar if Coco Chanel was a feminist, he said, no, she wasn't ugly enough for that. So this person that they decided to honor last night is not at all somebody that I think they should have picked. It makes me feel like the rich are mocking us. I will say I take solace in the fact, though, that at one point, everything he had in his brand sold for thousands of dollars. And last week I was at a TJ Maxx, got a Karl Lagerfeld t-shirt on clearance for $7 and a size 3X.
Oh, Karl! Well, he's rolling over in his grave now. That's the case. Yeah, he definitely, throughout his career, very polarizing figure in fashion. And it was kind of an interesting, when they picked that theme, people were like, huh? He had another quote at one point about not wearing pink. And there were some celebrities who wore pink to the Met Gala last night. Their outfits were pink. Unsure if it was a subtle shading, if it was intentional or not. But I guess he was not a big fan of the color pink.
Can I ask a bad question?
Yeah.
What is the Met Gala?
So
what
it's a fundraiser for the Metropolitan Opera.
Oh,
for the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Every year, I always thought it was just like rich people just like making you look at the fact that they're rich, and then like.
Well, it's also that too.
Okay, great.
That's essentially what it is. The entire premise of the Met Gala, as Liz mentioned earlier, is a mockery of the rich people to remind us of how rich they are. For instance, you know, the Jared Leto wearing a giant cat suit, Doja Cat getting prosthetics on her face to look like a cat, because that stuff is supposed to be fashionable at the Met Gala. It's not going to be fashionable tomorrow. It was only fashionable yesterday because of the Met Gala.
Right. It's a very it's kind of like a mix of like the rich fashion Halloween party. It's every year, you know, there's a theme and people just go over the top. By the way, Lil Nas X was the head to toe silvery sparkly man, if you couldn't tell who that was.
Stole the show.
Video, but yeah.
And the other big thing too is that people that have gone before that are famous people that have chosen not to go, like Tina Fey and different folks like that, they will tell you the party is just getting your photograph outside.
Yeah.
Once you go in there, you're like, whatever.
It's not too exciting.
Then it turns into like any other fundraiser, gala, dinner,
Yeah.
dancing evening. But it's just that carpet and the pictures, and that's pretty
Interesting.
much it.
Yeah, I had that moment yesterday when somebody's like, I gotta go look on Instagram to see whatever. It's like, I realized in that moment, I don't know what it's actually for. So it's just like,
mind you, you're not as wealthy as they are.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's
Yeah.
a whole thing every year. Jared Leto, that Karl Lagerfeld's cat, by the way, Chopette, I think was the name of the cat, was like richer than most people on Earth. Like he left money to this cat.
Phenomenal.
This cat is it's a whole thing.
That's just glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrities, they're not just like us.
They're not.
They're not like us at all.
All right, guys.
Okay. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget, you can listen to Liz and Mike every weekday morning on 105.1 The Buzz. And if you feel like you want to feel something today, go Google more Karl Lagerfeld quotes.
I just don't have any desire.
It'll make your blood pressure rise.
You know what that made me think of too is remember when we actually referred to Jared Leto as the guy from 30 Seconds to Mars?
Yeah.
It's like nobody does that anymore.
But now he's had a couple interesting
He's an
Met Gala.
actor. He's an actor.
He's an actor. He's had
Yes.
some interesting Met Gala looks over the years.